JordsWoodShop is sponsored by Minimax and by I Would Like. Check out their products at iwouldlike.com. Welcome back to JordsWoodShop. In the last tool chest video, we made the door and the drawer boxes for our tool chest. In this video, we're going to finish off the case so we can load it full of tools. Now, you remember in the last video, I had a bit of a mess up when rounding out the recess for the door panels and I had some repair work to do. Well, instead of spending the time fixing that mistake, I decided it would probably be easier and probably quicker to just make a new door assembly as I already had the stock on hand. On top of that, I also remade the drawer boxes out of some different timber as well. Moving my workshop into this new space, one of those boxes got lost and I didn't have any more Jarrah on hand. These new boxes were made in the exact same way as the old ones, except this time I used a specialty drawer lock router bit that I found in my router bit box to give it some extra strength. Once I had all the bits I needed again, I started the finishing process by giving everything a good sanding, starting with 80 grit sandpaper, working my way up to 180 grit. I also filled any of the gaps I could find with a lacquer stick, and while this isn't the best method for hiding mistakes, it's quick, and unless you're looking for it, it's unlikely you'll see the repair. With everything sanded, I went on to give the casework, door frame and drawer fronts their first coat of oil. The oil I'm using here is an all-round furniture oil which is made up of tung oil, beeswax and a pine tree turpentine which is used as a thinner. It's a really easy finish to apply as you just rag it on, and as it's got both wax and oil in it, it gives the wood a really nice feel and good sheen. Once everything was dry, I took the case back over to the bench to finish fitting the drawer boxes and drawer fronts. The drawer boxes already fit in the case pretty nicely, but to help keep things aligned and sliding smoothly over time, I wanted to add some drawer runners. So I started by centering the drawer boxes into the opening using some business cards as shims on either side, and I marked where the drawer box sides sat inside of that opening. Now those lines gave me the locations of where I needed to place the drawer runners. Here you can see I used super glue to hold everything in place, and once it was dry I came back and added some small screws to really lock everything in. It was a little bit of a tricky angle. Once that was done, I could attach the drawer fronts. Now to do this I used a dab of hot glue to secure the drawer front onto the drawer box, and by doing this it meant I could make sure it was positioned exactly where I wanted it, so nice and centered and lined up perfectly. From there, I just removed the box and I added a few brad nails from behind, making sure it was going in at an angle so it would hold it there over time. From there, I went on to install the back panel, which is just a matter of adding a little bit of glue to the edges and using several screws around the outside to hold it all in place. To finish off the drawers, I had to add a few bits of trim to act as a frame on the inside of the door to stop the panels from popping out. I didn't glue any of this trim in place as I want to have the option to easily replace these door panels if they ever become too worn out, and if I did glue them it would make it very hard to do this. Unfortunately, this method of adding a frame around the panels came back to bite me in the butt, as you can see here, as it kind of prevented the door from being able to close over the square shelf. This was a design alteration I made on the day, and if you're using the plans this isn't actually shown, so make sure you follow the plans and not what I've actually done in this video. Now there were several ways I could have fixed this issue, but I really didn't want to do any more work on the door because I'd already rebuilt it once before. So out came the router sled and I removed 5mm of material from the square shelf using my router and cleaned it up with a chisel. This probably was way more work than it was worth, but it got the job done, and hey, that's all that counts. With that done, I positioned the door where I wanted it, added a piano hinge, installed a couple of handles, and we could finally see what this case looked like in the flesh, and I was really impressed. To mount the case on the wall I used Z-clips, but really a homemade French cleat would do the exact same thing, but the Z-clips are cool. Okay, so there it is, a completed cabinet, and I think it looks great. In the next tool chest video, we're going to work on getting all of my tools mounted into the case with some custom mounts and clips, and we're just going to talk about the things I like, I dislike, and answer some of the questions that you guys have. So like always, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you click that thumbs up button and maybe leave a comment below, and if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button so you stay up to date with old JordsWoodShop videos. And like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.